Coming to you is the Public Affairs Hour. This episode is called Dr. Policy. James Hendrick here at the James A. Hendrick School of Leadership. And now, ladies and gentlemen, without any further ado, Dr. Policy. Coming to you to give the policy mix of the day. Noble. Just ways and advice, consulting in ways that make you think for yourself. Here at the James A. Hendrick School of Leadership. Get ready, because the Dr. Policy, his class, is in session.
Indeed it is. Happy Thursday, you guys. Public Affairs Thursday. Today, we're talking about the beginning of the solution. And that is this. The solution is this. Entrepreneurs and public affairs. You think, can you lost your mind? Seriously? Now, people think of entrepreneurs as those that, use politics for their own power and influence. I prefer using influence, because I really believe real power, forgive me for being all tongue twisted, real power is in here, in your head. And so you gotta be careful what you put into your spirit. Too much of society, thinks it's a distractive, defiant culture, which is prevalent in both sides of the aisle, is focusing too much on the problem. And we need to focus on solutions. That's why I started this show. Because I'll be honest with you, really and truthfully, I got sick and tired of talk radio, giving us a bunch of details and stuff in which we cannot control. But here's some things we can do about. Listen to me. Entrepreneurs, I think it's their duty, especially conservative entrepreneurs, to hit Washington, D.C. and their state capital. Mine is Austin. To be honest with you, over a 6-year period, I lived there a total of... 35 weeks over a 6-year period. And there were some things I liked about Austin. In some ways, Austin was a beautiful town and everything. But there was this one problem. Central Texas is a den of liberalism. And I think that's almost anywhere you go in the public. However, if you settle here in West Texas, there is no hiding from it, okay? This is God's country. My Toastmasters meeting, we pray before, at the start of the meeting, rather. Now, here's the blessing. Here's the blessing, guys. When you think about this, who are the real heroes in America? Top of the line, the first ones are the men and women who fight for the freedom of this country. The second in line, of course, with those is also the veterans. And also, the second line of heroes is the entrepreneurs in this country. Because they're the ones out there solving problems. See, I was looking for a decent topic to talk about in public affairs. And to be honest with you, it was difficult. And I thought, wait a minute. You've watched enough business plans, for a company you're trying to be on online. You should know how to do this. And so, that is the business plan, Go to your state capitals. Go to Washington, D.C. See what you can do about influencing lawmakers and policymakers to make some sensible policies. Especially Washington, D.C. Good grief. We need some people in Congress and among the grassroots, among entrepreneurs. Go out there, make a difference. Tell your lawmakers what you want, and realize also that if they don't stick to conservative federalist values, and that's the thing, you guys can jump the USS Titanic and climb aboard the USS Double Nine. That's my late maternal grandfather's CV handle. For those of you who remember talking on what was known as a CV radio, climb aboard that, because that we are full of conservative federalists who can make all the difference in this world. No doubt. No doubt. Only difference between me and my granddad, he couldn't stand Reagan. And back then, I could understand why. But in retrospect, Reagan helped this country feel good about itself. And so we as entrepreneurs, when it comes to public affairs, we can make a difference, okay? We can make a difference. It is my firm belief on the James Henry Hendricks School of Leadership, this thing, is that I'm much rather focused on solving problems. Give me information that can help you solve problems, rather than just sit there and gripe and complain about what we can't do anything about. That's like, okay, next Tuesday, we're not going to have a Public Affairs Tuesday. I'll probably cover the news, or maybe not even appear. It all depends on what's going on. Thursday now, I want to play devil's advocate as a conservative federalist, because I heard something that PayPal did, saying that they would drain some money from conservatives that presented a different view. Okay, I'm sorry. I mean, yes, to some degree, I believe that business is personal, but not if you're censoring free speech rights. But I'm not going to be reactionary. What I'm going to do is put on my public affairs consultant and do some crisis communications to give them some suggestions, you know? But that's either here or there. The real heroes are those out there fighting for freedoms and the veterans. Those are the first line. The second line is in the first line, the first responders are on the first line. The second line is the entrepreneurs that are out there making a difference, solving problems. You got people being trained to go up there and be bureaucrats and, you know, to look at the problems, but it's like, woe is me, this ain't working, this, blah, 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 blah. Just sit there in their ivory tower and nothing gets done. And I had training like that in graduate school. And after a while, I was like, you know what? This just ain't working. Sorry, I'm gonna toss it out. And I knew somehow I wanted to get back to my business roots, because I said this in a speech yesterday at Toastmasters. My grandfather, the last 5 of the last 6 years of his life, he owned a furniture alignment shop, and he made, let me tell you something, he worked hard at that. His business was a huge part of his life, and he wanted it to pass on to my uncle, his youngest son. He said, I don't want it. And I looked at Granddad, and I said, tell you what, if I could see, I'd take over your business whenever you're ready. And I would make it big. But then again, you know, I think Granddad wanted something better for me. Unfortunately, we didn't get what we wanted as far as me being a lawyer, but in other words, it's better because you guys get to hear me on this show and hear the beginning of the solutions. Entrepreneurs in public affairs. Entrepreneurial politics. And after this little break here, paying for the bills here, I will come back and give you my insights here. So we got to pay the bills. Hey guys, here, Jimi Hendrix. I want to talk to you about a solution to the healthcare insurance crisis. It's called Impact Health Share. Okay? Now, I've looked up some information about it, and what it is, it's not insurance. It's a Christian concept of bearing one another's burdens and paying for health care. And it drastically, in some ways, reduces your health cost if you meet the, your primary obligation. And the cost of health share is a lot less expensive than health insurance. The good thing about this company, there's no networks. You can see any doctor. And it's covered by Impact. You can use this health share like you would any other health insurance, only it's better. Helps you save money. How about that? We all love to save money. Impact Health Share. To find out more, you need to watch the video of Impact Health Share connected to ACN and find you a good ACN distributor. God bless you. From Blackout All Stars, I like it. What? Am I supposed to like this? This is a beat for Generation X, folks. It's got that Latin beat. Oh, because I'm a country boy, I'm not supposed to like it? Okay, I'm back. Got carried away. But, some of us who are entrepreneurs are from Generation X. We're the ones that, some see as the forgotten generation. But you know what? We were the last generation so far that has not been indoctrinated by government education. And that's the beauty of it. We had parents who were involved. And I think we need parents to rise up and say, hey, no more of this indoctrination. No, and I'll be honest with you, I used to have no problem with large corporations. I think there's still some out there that probably hold to some good values, but the majority of them have gone woke. And so I think I'm grateful for the entrepreneurs who become corporations and have joined me on the good ship Devil 9, with me as your first officer and the Lord as your captain here, because we are conservative federalists that believe in common sense. And the majority of us conservative federalists are Generation X. There are some millennials, no doubt. But I know there's also a bunch of millennials that have been indoctrinated to be libertarian, if not liberal. Some might say, well, Jimmy, you're a libertarian. No, I'm not. I am a conservative federalist, believing in the original Constitution. And I'll tell you something. I'm going to give you guys a taste. Public Affairs Tuesdays and Thursdays from January the 16th. No, not January the 16th. From January the 17th on up to sometime in early May, I don't know which, it's going to be dedicated to the Constitution. And particularly, we're going to be devoted to the powers given to government. It's okay to study the Bill of Rights. It's okay to study the other amendments. But I also think it's necessary that we study the basics, the beginnings of the Constitution. And so that's what I'm going to be doing. One of the reading assignments is going to be the Federalist Papers. And, of course, common sense. The Constitution of the United States. How many of you read it? Now, I have to admit, I haven't read all the amendments, but out of curiosity, I have looked at the powers of government, who should do what, and what are the qualifications, and are we going by the Constitution anymore? Or are so many people saying, oh, it's a living document, we could change, and they want to do that so they can further their liberal agenda. So, I am what's known as some constitutional scholars not frown on me. I'm one of those original intenters. Okay, them original intenters? I'm one of those. Along with historian David Barton. God bless him. God bless him. He's the one that really opened my eyes as to how we've departed from true biblical principles and the like. But here's the blessing. The blessing is this. God loves us. And He cares about us. And so there goes the blessing. God has His best in mind for us, and we can do this, guys. Entrepreneurs out there, you look at people like, Joseph P. Kennedy. I can't say necessarily that he shaped public policy totally for the good, to some degree maybe. Then you have George H.W. Bush. I think he did some good, Now, I'll be honest with you. I wasn't very fond of his presidency. I like his Points of Life Foundation, but I wasn't very fond of his presidency. Of course, part of it might have been because I was a flaming liberal, but then again, from what I hear, he was a moderate, and some moderate Republicans and Democrats preferred him over George Jr., but, Kennedy created a dynasty. George Bush Sr. created a dynasty. And then you have Mitt Romney. Now, I'll be honest with you, I haven't liked necessarily some of his approaches and attitudes towards Trump. Okay? But for good or for ill, I'm gonna feature these people. Because they've made an impact on our society. Whether you want to or not, believe it or not, get mad all you want. But I'm going to say it, I'm not going to deny that here, Dr. Policy, I can be fair. I can play fair. Because one thing I learned from my granddad is that politics can be a dirty game. He said, the thing is, son, you don't necessarily have to play it dirty. He said, you might not always win, but at least you're sticking by principles and you know you can do it. Because, you see, that's the thing. Things happen for a strange reason. And the Lord has the best interest in us. And having entrepreneurs out there shaping policy, and it's not necessarily, somebody standing, protest signs with Antifas or some environmentalist thing. Not that I'm opposed to environmental things. I like renewable energy and all that stuff. But entrepreneurs shaping policy for the good. For the blessings of people's lives in accordance to biblical principles and the wisdom ideology as set forth by the scriptures. That's what my show is all about. That's what I talk about. And that's what the James A. Hendricks School of Leadership is all about, is talking about leadership. Also, Texas Tech is playing Saturday. Wreck-'em Tech. Now, with that, I hope you enjoyed listening to the James A. Hendricks School of Leadership. If you like what you hear, please subscribe. Become a part of the James A. Hendricks School of Leadership classroom. This is Jimi Hendrix saying until next time, take care and be proactively informed. God bless you guys. We got one more day. Tomorrow is Fearless Faith Friday. And what we're going to say is God plus Christ plus us equals the majority. God bless each and every one of y'all. Y'all have a blessed day. God bless you. Oh.